Hi, I'm Christy and I'm part of the Watts of Love team. We're here to bring you some interpersonal tips for making the most out of your training experience. For most of our light recipients, today will be the most important day of their lives. Overnight, this light will allow them the opportunity to double or triple their household income. In addition, they're no longer relying on a flame for a light source, and they can sleep a lot easier. The light also provides them an opportunity to further their education and continue their schooling. As you begin to train on this light, you may feel a little bit awkward or uncomfortable because you may not be completely familiar with the light. You may feel silly when we're asking you to be extremely expressive. For our light recipients, they are no doubt extremely nervous. They have not encountered this kind of technology previously, and things that we take for granted, like pushing a button, may be very hard for them to learn. So we encourage you to push yourself outside of your comfort zone, to be as warm and inviting as you can, and to really take the time to be expressive, to make eye contact, and to share your love in the form of physical encouragement, a pat on the shoulder, a high five, whatever it may be, to really get them engaged and to break those hurdles of any language barriers. Now, we're going to go through an in-depth instruction on how to operate your light, how to care for it, and how to teach your light recipient the functions of the light.
Hi there, my name is Blake Butler. I'm part of the Watts of Love Global Travel Team, and been lucky enough to go on several trips with Watts of Love, and I'm here today to teach you guys some of the basics on how to use the lights so that when you're out in the field, you're able to train people more effectively. I've been lucky enough to train people both individually and larger groups, and I'll tell you, it's one of my most favorite parts of any of the Watts of Love trips. It really is a personal time with these people, getting to show them how to use the lights. Really, it's a big moment in their life, very life-changing, and to see this on their faces is so fun. So hoping to give you guys some pointers here on the basics of how to use the lights, just so you're more comfortable, and you can teach them the most effectively as possible. So here today I have two of our lights. I have our basic light here that we give out to most people, and then I also have the MP3 light that I'll be going over with you guys. So I'll be starting here with our basic light. So everyone will get a light. It looks just like this, and one of the main things is to have everyone, whoever's receiving the light, make sure they hold it themselves. It's good for them to get used to just getting comfortable holding the light, getting more used to having it in their hand so they're comfortable when they leave. So first thing I like to teach people on how to use is just how to turn on their light. This is very exciting for them because this is the first time they're going to actually see this light turn on. So really take the time, take a moment and do this with them. So as you'll see here, the light has a button here, and this is how they'll turn on the light. The light has 4 settings. The first setting is the dimmest setting. It lasts up to 5 days. Again, the people that we're training to use these lights typically don't have a lot of education. So take your time to make sure they're able to push the buttons. And as I said, so this light, the first setting will last for 5 days. Normally I like to put that in a more realistic situation for them. So I like to tell people that they can use this as a night light. They can have this light on all night long, keep it as a night light so they're able to see their children, so they're able to feel more safe, anything like that. The second time they hit the button, the light will get even brighter and will last for 30 hours. The third time, it will get even brighter, it will last for 20 hours, and then the last time, very bright, and it will last for 10 hours. When we're teaching them to turn on the light, this is normally a very exciting time for them. This is the first time that they're seeing this light turn on. And they're normally very excited, very happy. So I really encourage you to get excited with them. Show your emotions, scream, shout, yell, smile. This will really pull out the emotions in them and allow them to be more excited, because this truly is a very exciting time for them. And you want them to feel comfortable enough to show that, all right? So then if you hit the button one more time, the light will turn off. I like to emphasize that it's important that they turn their lights off when they're not using it. So during the daytime, make sure that their light is turned off. This will help conserve the battery, make sure the light lasts longer, which is obviously what we want. We want these lights to last as long as possible. So the next thing we like to teach people is how to plug in and use the solar panel that will be charging their light. So each light has a picture also, an image of a solar panel. This normally makes it very easy for them to understand. This is exactly where they're going to be plugging in their solar panel. So as you'll see, the end of the solar panel has a plug just like this, and it'll be plugged in right next to this picture here. So this part especially sometimes causes some issues because the recipients of the lights feel like they're going to break the cord, they're going to break the light. You need to plug the cord in pretty hard. And so I really encourage you to physically grab their hands, guide their fingers, and push the light in, take it in and out a few times so they can really see and feel how hard they need to push it in. By guiding their hands with your own hand, they'll normally feel more comfortable. They know that you're not going to break the light, so they'll feel comfortable with you plugging it in. They'll get a sense of what it feels like, and then they'll be able to do it on their own. So again, encourage them to use 2 fingers and pull right at the base of the cord. Do it with them once or twice, and then let them do it themselves a couple times. So just like that. You can even hear it makes a pretty loud click when it goes in because it really needs some force to go in there. But once they get this down, they're normally pretty comfortable with it after you help them a few times. So then I explained to them that it's important we keep this solar panel out in the sun all day long. So this solar panel can get wet. It can be out even if it's cloudy. We keep the solar panel out and plugged in all day long so the light can charge. So they can put this up on their roof, out on a tree or on a chair somewhere that the sun's able to get to it. And really, take your time, but be as simple as possible with this. Explain to them that the sun is going to come and hit this panel, and then the energy will actually travel through the cord all the way to their light and charge it for them. It really helps them understand why it's important to keep the solar panel out in the sun all day long, and that if they want their light to be charged at night, that they need to be doing this in order for the energy to get to the light. At this point also, as I'm explaining to them that they can keep this panel out in the sun or the rain all day long, I like to emphasize that they need to be taking extra good care of their actual light. So the light, we like to tell them to treat like their baby. Treat this like a new child, because this is really can lead to a better life for them, and they really need to take extra good care of it. So that means not keeping this out in the rain, not hanging it over a fire if they're cooking, not leaving it out somewhere where someone can steal it, not letting the kids play with it. A lot of it sounds super silly. A lot of it sounds like they would know not to do these things, but you'd be surprised at some of the things that we see with what happens to these lights. And again, we want these lights to be preserved as long as possible. Similarly, I like to do an additional teaching with just the solar panel and the cord. So basic things like making sure the cord is not anywhere that it can get cut with metal. Sometimes the individuals are creative and they'll put the light up through their roof, and the cord will come down into the house. But oftentimes if they have metal roofs, the wire can get cut, and then this will lead to the solar panel not working. Similarly, if there's an animal around that can get to the cord, we don't want any animals to be able to bite through this, because we want these lights lasting as long as possible. And if the cord gets stripped, then oftentimes it's hard for it to still use them to be able to charge the light with it. So that's the basics on charging the light. As you'll see here, there's a red flashing light, and this red flashing light is present when the light is charging. So when the solar panel is plugged in, this red flashing light will be on. When the light is fully charged, this light will be green. So that's another good thing to teach them. Help emphasize that they should be charging this light 8 to 10 hours a day out in the sun, and that they, especially if this red light's flashing, they can be charging their light. So the next thing that everyone receives is also a cell phone charger. So it'll come in a baggie in the box, and as you'll see on the light, next to the picture of the solar panel is also a picture of a cell phone. So this makes it simple for them to understand this is where their cell phone charger is going to be plugged in. But similarly to plugging in the solar panel, it's important that we take the time to make sure they're plugging in the cell phone charger correctly as well. So what I like to teach people is that there's an image on this cell phone charger, and that they can match that image up with the image of the cell phone. This makes sure that they're plugging in the USB in the correct direction so that it doesn't break. So just like with the solar panel, if you need to take their fingers and actually help them push the light in and out, or the cord in and out, feel free to do that. Really just make sure that they're doing it right. We don't want them, jamming it in the wrong way, breaking it in any way. So do what you need to do. It really helps them feel comfortable with you if you're willing to show them exactly how to use it. If you're willing to grab their hands and physically show them, it really can make all of the difference. It also comes with several different cell phone adapters. So at the end of the cord, you'll see there's an option you can plug in different adapters. So I normally like to encourage anyone that has a cell phone to take out their cell phone, see which adapter might fit into the cord, and then actually have them plug it in and plug in their cell phone. And normally, when they find the right adapter and they plug in their phone, they're super excited. They'll see their cell phone charging. These individuals often have to walk several hours or pay a lot of money to charge their cell phones every day or every other day. So to see their cell phone charging on a light that they now own is really exciting for them. Again, really get excited with them. Scream, shout, yell, smile. Really, you want to make this moment as special for them as possible. Again, you may feel silly, but really it makes the world of difference if you're willing to have a positive energy and let that out with them. So a few important points with cell phones. The first being that if an individual is charging a cell phone, they also have to have their solar panel plugged in. So what I like to do often is actually physically have them plug their solar panel back in while their cell phone is being charged. By giving them this kind of visual, it really helps them understand, cell phone charging here, solar panel out in the sun. They can really see that it's important that both are plugged in at the same time. So telling them, to charge their cell phone during the day rather than at night while the light is charging is very important. That will help them understand. Otherwise, the light will lose its battery power and die a lot sooner than it would otherwise. The next big point with the cell phones is that they are only allowed to charge one cell phone per day. So this is very, very important. If they're charging multiple cell phones a day, their light will lose battery power very quickly and die a lot sooner than it would otherwise. A lot of times they're tempted to either help their neighbors out, charge their cell phones, or to charge people to charge cell phones so they can make extra money. But we really need to emphasize one cell phone per day is really important. They don't want these lights to die. Really, I really literally say that to them. If they charge multiple cell phones a day, their light will die. And that really normally gets through to them. Emphasizing that point will get through to them because they really want these lights to last. They understand the impact the light's about to have on them. And emphasizing points like that are really normally very helpful. I'll now move to the MP3 light. MP3 light has all of the same features as the basic light. So it has the on and off button with the same 4 settings. It has the cell phone charger as well as the same plug and images for the solar panel. The big difference with this light is on the other side, there is a radio, an MP3, and a USB port. So this is another really exciting feature for individuals. We will teach them how to turn on their radio, and for some people, they'll be hearing the radio for the first time. Normally, in these areas we go to, they only hear music or sound at special occasions, so this can be really, really exciting. So this side of the light is the side that has the radio and MP3 player. So there's a bunch of buttons here. It can be very confusing for them, so again, take your time, go over these settings with them as slowly as possible. Turning on the radio is often a very exciting time for them because they don't always get to hear music. They're only at special occasions, or some of them have never heard a radio at all. So when this sound comes on, take a moment, sing, dance, enjoy it, whatever you need to do, because it really can be a special moment. So first thing we teach is how to turn the radio on and off. There's a switch here, and just like everything else I've kind of gone over, don't be afraid to grab someone's finger and really guide them to turn this radio on and off. So once they have the basics of turning the radio on and off, you can go through the other settings. There's several buttons here. There is a fast forward and rewind that will allow them to scan through different radio stations. So you can go over the basics of that. And then there's also the plus and minus buttons for the volume. So in order for them to turn the volume up or down, they'll need to hold down the button with the plus or the minus. So if they want to turn the volume up, they'll hold this button down. And if they want to turn it down, they'll hold down this one. Just like so. The other great feature of this is it has a USB port for MP3. We oftentimes provide recipients with various audio files that they're able to listen to besides the radio. So just one more thing to teach them is how to plug in the USB to this port. So they'll have to turn the radio on, and then whatever file we give them, they can plug in so they're then able to hear it. So as you'll see, the blue light started flashing when the MP3 was able to read, and then the file was able to start playing automatically. Just like the radio, they can skip through, they can go back and forward, they can play and pause, they can turn the volume up and down, just like they did with their radio. Those are the basics with the MP3 light. Everything else works the same as our regular light. Again, I can't emphasize enough when teaching individuals how to use this light. Have so much fun with it. Really, it's the best part of the trip. It's why we're out there, is to make sure these people are understanding the lights that they're receiving, the impact that it's going to have for them, and by taking time to teach them and to ensure that they're using these lights properly, it means the world to them. This is the biggest day of their life, the most life-changing day of their life. So enjoy it, have so much fun. I hope these tips helped, and enjoy.
This is the Watts of Love headlamp model, and this light is used primarily when you want very specific and very direct light. When you are getting ready to operate this light, you want to make sure that you're using the pivot feature. The reason why you want to make sure you have it positioned correctly is that this light is extremely bright, and you don't want to blind anyone else or yourself. So when you're getting ready to turn on the light, you can go ahead and tilt it. The light has an on-off switch on the top of the light, and it's operated by very simply pressing, and then you can turn it off by pressing once more. The back of the light has a solar panel, and it will charge within 5 to 7 hours. So you simply place the light anywhere that there is sunlight and allow it to charge. And the light will run for about 17 hours. This light is great anytime that you need hands-free light. This is fantastic for dentists and for medical professionals. This light itself will last about 3 to 5 years if it's properly cared for, and this model can get wet to a certain extent. So we say not to worry if there's a little bit of rain, but the light should never be fully submerged. And this is the Watts of Love headlamp. Every one of our travel team members says the same thing. The training is the most rewarding part of the trip. That opportunity to connect one-on-one with your light recipient is the best time that you can spend and invest of yourself on the trip. So really take a moment to embrace, to be present, to not rush, and to focus on the person sitting in front of you, and make sure that all your hard work and efforts are being utilized and that your recipient is walking away understanding their light and what they can do with it. Have fun, enjoy yourself, and you will walk away with a lifetime of memories and capture some of the best times while you're training.